I'm going to request you to help me welcome to the stage by all rising our Commander-in-Chief, Julius Sello Malema.
Amandla, Amandla, Viva EFF, Viva, Tata EFF, Tata, Amandla, down with ANC, down, down with DA, down, down with PA, down, Amandla. Thank you very much, Dr. Mbuseni Ndlozi, and our provincial chairperson, the provincial coordinator, provincial deputy chair. It is very late in the day, but we felt it is important for us to come and have an interaction with you so that we get to appreciate the issues that affect our communities. So I am here to just remind you that on the 29th of May, we have to go and vote for the EFF because it is the only organization that cares about the people. We want to make sure that we fight crime everywhere in South Africa, toe for toe, because criminals have taken over the streets. Today, there is no streets where you can move freely. The girl children are unable to go and study at the library. They can't go and study as a group because there is someone waiting for them at the corner to come and violate them. Today, there is too much burglary in our communities because the people are not safe in their own homes. When a person who respects the law stays in fear, and those who don't respect the law are not scared, it's supposed to be the other way around. That those who respect the law must live happily in peace. And there's no need to build high walls. And those who violate the law, there must be a way to deal with them. Criminals who take out guns and point at society and police, they must be dropped immediately because no one must point a gun at the police or at our people. Today, the murder rate in South Africa is like we're in a war. When you compare the murder rate with countries where there is war, we are actually higher than the people who are dying in Ukraine. But we are not in a war. So it means the criminals have declared war against us. And they must meet us ready so that when they enter our houses, we must find police in every street. I drove now from Lodium, coming this side. I've not met a single police van. How can I drive such a long distance without a single policeman van? Once there is no police visibility, then it is free for all. Because when a police van passes and you are about to commit crime, your conscience comes back and you are scared that you are going to be arrested. So we need police in every town, in every township, in every suburb, and every street. And those informers who inform us of people who commit dangerous crimes, who kidnap others. Once that information helps the police to arrest the perpetrators, the informer must be given money, must be paid, so that we keep on having informers informing us about criminal activities that are happening. How can people kidnap a person and they say they want 50 million? I help you to catch people who are looking for 50 million. You give me 500 rand. It doesn't make sense. I must be thanked properly so that the other person can know that when you give police reliable information, they are going to pay you, and they are going to pay you very well. Then we've got ears and eyes on the ground. I don't understand why in Jimiston there is no camera in every street, and all of our townships must have cameras. Because when you steal a cell phone here and you run 10 to this street, camera must be looking at you. When you come this way, camera is looking at you. When you go this way, the van is waiting for you. Open, you fall into the van. So we will install cameras in all areas where our people are found, because we need to fight crime with everything we have. How come police know that in this house they sell nyaupe, they sell drugs, and police don't do anything? It is because police are working with criminals to transport the drugs. Because once a house is identified as selling drugs, the police must put a trap, use one of the good customers of that house to go and persuade this person to go and buy drugs. When the transaction is busy, police must pounce on that particular person. Because General Mukwanazi, the Commissioner of Police in KwaZulu-Natal, says the reason why he's winning with fighting crime in Natal is because once they say this person is a troublemaker, they start following that troublemaker. Wait for that troublemaker to cause trouble. Then they cause trouble for him. Because you need to monitor this house that sells drugs. People will go in and out. Then you know there is something fishy here. Then we set a trap and we arrest. We cannot allow police to be in bed with criminals. We cannot allow the drugs to be tracked with police van, because they can't be detected when they are being transported by the police van. And a police officer who is found to be committing crime and working with criminals must be sent to jail for a very long time, because he knows the law and is not following the law. So we have a situation where we know corrupt police, but they never get arrested. If anything, they become very powerful people. Everybody is very scared of them. We cannot be scared of criminals, even when those criminals are police. Because people say Nigerians have taken business of drugs and prostitution. We don't want business of drugs. What do we do with drugs? We don't care whether you are a Nigerian or South African. When you bring drugs, it's a criminal activity, and you must be treated as such. You must be treated as a criminal. Riache Park cannot be an area where people think we can go and play with drugs on the streets and no one can do anything. Where the schools have become areas where drugs are being sold. Where the churches have become areas where drugs are being sold. Destroying the future of our children. Because once you give them drugs, you are done. You have finished them. There is no way they can recover from that. This Panyaza Lisufi, the bloody crook, said when he became premier that he's going to create rehabilitation center for the drug addicts. Till today, there is no rehabilitation center that has developed except the stomach. The stomach of Panyaza is developed, but the rehabilitation center is not developed. He's eating the money that is supposed to be building a rehabilitation center. So in the EFF will build a rehabilitation center, but it will not stay for long because there will no longer be drugs for these people, because we will fight drugs with everything. We want Cape Flats everywhere to be drug-free and crime-free. We need to go on a massive rate when we take over power and search all the houses in South Africa with police and soldiers to look for guns, because there are a lot of guns in these houses, and these guns are not even licensed. How come we don't have a national rating day where you are just sitting in Rege Park and then police are just coming in every house? They say we are searching this house today. And imagine how many illegal firearms we can bring. The people are killing each other in the Cape Flats because the guns are just available here. They are easily available. There must be war declared on guns, and that no illegal firearm must be found in any house or on anyone, because this is what causes instability and threatens the peace in South Africa. The other thing that threatens the peace in South Africa is jobs. Because Panyaza Lesufi again said he's going to give you 400,000 jobs. Nothing. You borrow money from here to go and submit your CV. When you arrive there, they are not there. That time you even borrowed money to go to that place. So you must not allow these fools to play with you. On the 29th of May, you must punish them for having promised you jobs and did not give you a single job. Comrades and fighters, it's not true that Zimbabweans and Nigerians and foreigners are taking your jobs. Let me tell you, if you want to know their jobs, you look at one thing only. You look at the economy if it's growing. The South African economy is not growing. So even if we chase away Zimbabweans and everyone, you will still not get a job, because jobs are created by a growing economy. So you don't say we don't have jobs because they are Zimbabweans. Look at whether the economy is growing, because the growing economy means the business is doing business. And when they do business, they will need labor force to come and help them do business. So the South African economy is stagnant. It's not growing. It's not going anywhere. Unlike that time of Thabo Mbeki, where the economy was growing, and we could see that our country was growing because the economy was growing. You cannot grow the economy if you don't turn this country into a construction site. We have to build bridges. We have to build roads. We have to build proper houses. We have to make sure that water reticulation plants and sewer are maintained. And we build the new ones because the population is growing. We have to revive the industry. We have to revive all of economic activity in South Africa because we want to create jobs. So without any new developmental program, you can be rest assured there will never be jobs. The excuse of Zimbabweans is because they think you are illiterate, you can't read economic indicators and be able to make a rational conclusion that in the absence of a growing economy, we will never get jobs. That's why the EFF When it takes over, it must revive the textile industry in Cape Town, in Germiston, and everywhere else, because there is market for it. Today, I'm driving with this doctor. I'm telling him that these plastic chairs that you are sitting on are produced by a byproduct which comes from Sasol, here in Sasolburg. That byproduct, they go and sell it to China. China uses that byproduct to produce those chairs. And these chairs are expensive because they come from China. We are paying for their shipment here. But the thing is here in Sasol. Why are we not taking it there and produce these chairs here in South Africa? Do you know that we also import toothpick? Maybe some of you don't even know what is a toothpick because you got a slugs. So, match sticks, the matches that we use every day, we don't produce it. It comes from outside South Africa. The plate that you use, plastic plate, comes from outside. How can't we not produce what we use every day? Because there are customers already for it. I mean, all these women who are sitting here, Dr. Ndlozi, if you say to them, please borrow me a tap away, yes, sis. There will be war. She's going to call you the whole day. Where's my tap away? But tap away that you love so much, its production is as a result of what comes from Sasol. Look at how expensive tap away is. That's why you are fighting. But we can produce it here and the same quality and then sell to you. You are customers, but we'll be creating jobs for our own people. Because there is no economy without manufacturing which can create jobs. The good thing is that, Africa loves South Africa a lot. Everything that comes from South Africa, they love it. Imagine if we produce tap away from South Africa. It's not only for us. It's for the whole continent. We've got the market. South Africa can produce a flying machine, fighter jet. Barking into Roy Falk. Roy Falk is one of the best war machines. We produce it here in South Africa. The Chinese wanted to buy 2 so that they can copy what we are doing. We refuse to sell to them. How can we produce a machine that flies and we can't produce cars? A machine that moves on the ground, we can't produce it. But we produce a machine that can fly. There is something wrong there. Someone went to sign agreements, trading agreements with Germany that we will not produce cars. You will give us cars, we'll buy from you. Went to sign with Japan and many others. We will not produce car, we'll buy from you. If we can produce a flying machine, it must not be difficult to produce a car. And if we produce a car, it means more jobs for our children. South Africa is rich of minerals. We've got platinum, we've got chrome, we've got gold, we've got diamond. Every day on the N3 to Richards Bay, they are transporting our raw material out of the country. When you see those cars from tomorrow, when you look at them, you must know that inside those trucks is jobs being shipped out. Because chrome is used to produce steel. In South Africa today, there is nothing you can build without steel, which means steel is in demand. And we've got chrome to produce steel. Why are we sending our chrome to China and everywhere else? they produce steel and sell the steel back to us. When we can produce our own steel through beneficiation here in South Africa. You know, Gauteng, Johannesburg, was made by the discovery of gold. This place is not a preferred place of settlement. That's why, because it's got too much water, it was a forest. But when they discovered gold, they now had to create conditions for settlement. So, which means everywhere where a mineral is discovered, then that place must look like Johannesburg. Because Johannesburg was made by a mineral. Why is platinum not making Rustenburg look like Johannesburg? Because platinum is a mineral as well. Why is Bakersford, if it has got chrome, why is not looking like Johannesburg? We need to decentralize the economy of South Africa to depopulate this Gauteng. Because this Gauteng is going to become a nightmare very soon. Everybody wants to settle here. That's why in Ekurhuleni MMC, Ekurhuleni has got a lot of squatter camps, more than any other municipality in South Africa. It's because people come here coming to search for opportunities. But if we create opportunities for them where they come from, they will not see a need to come, because it's safer to work where you come from. Unlike me, I have to work, I have to have a home in Polokwane, have a home in Johannesburg, have a home in Cape Town. Even if Cape Town you are not paying any rent, you are a member of parliament, but the fridge must be full. And then the fridge must be full in Johannesburg, then full in Polokwane. So if there is a means where I can have one home where I go to work and come back to this home, I'm saving a lot. So we need to decentralize this economy and create new cities. Every city you see was created by apartheid. There is no single city that was created by democracy. For the past 30 years, they've never done a town. Nothing. What they do, they identify a bush. They love bushes. I don't know, Comrade Carl, is it because you are in the bushes for a long time? They love bushes. They go and look for a bush away from where people stay and build RDP houses and say, no, come and stay here. Why do you take us away from where the resources are? There is already road here, there is water here, there's electricity here. A person takes people to the bush and give them RDP houses. And our people are clapping hands. But they forget that it was them who were marching during apartheid saying, we don't want matchbox houses. Today they are given Western matchbox houses, they clap hands. A definition of a house means that it must have a flushing toilet inside. If it doesn't have a flushing toilet, it's not a house. It's a glorified mukuku. It's not a house. It's a glorified shack. Because only a shack will not have inside toilet. I've never walked into any shack, they say, this shack has got an in-suit. I've never seen anything like that. So why do you call this thing a house and call this one a shack? What is the difference? The difference is that here you did not use a corrugated iron. You used some mampara steel. So we reached a point where we must stop celebrating mediocrity and laziness. We must now start voting with our minds and not with our heart. Because for how long have you been seeking a job? But people just come, get called from homes by ANC councillors to come and work here in the Ekurhuleni municipality. They hire their relatives they hire their comrades. If you are a female, they want to have sex with you before they give you a job. That, when we vote on the 29th of May, you must remember. You must remember that 29 May, you don't have a toilet. You come from the shack, from the squatter camps, family of 4, 5 are sharing 10, are sharing a toilet. They've treated you like animals for a very long time. Go and teach them a lesson on the 29th of May and tell them, today we are here to reclaim our humanity, to reclaim our dignity. We are tired of being treated like animals. So we must make sure that our children go to school for free. There must not be school fees. And children must not pay for school uniform. How can, we are led by some people who appear like they've lost their mind. They say this one who wants to make a good future for herself, she must buy uniform. But a prisoner like Gaten Mackenzie was having free uniform in prison. He's a beneficiary of free uniform in prison. You want to go to school? Go and buy uniform. Oh, you want to go to prison? We give you uniform for free. We give you food, breakfast, lunch, supper. We give you water. We give you electricity in prison. And inside that prison, there is a flushing toilet. You are not in prison, but you don't have a flushing toilet. The prisoners have a flushing toilet. Your situation is worse than those who are in prison, yet you are not in prison. Let us go and reclaim our rights, because prisoners can't have more rights than our children. Children must go to school free of charge, no uniform. They must get books and get meals at school. They must eat at school, because there is no child who can think on an empty stomach. We want these children to excel. We want these children to be perfect. Let's tell you, we have to make sure they eat. They have to eat, because a child must not be struggling as to where the next meal is going to come from. That's why in the EFF, we are fighting that we need to increase child support grant to 1,000 rand, because these people need money to support the children. These children, if they are not properly supported, they are going to become criminals. And when we say, let's increase the child support grant to 1,000, they say Malema wants these people to make babies. There is nothing wrong with making babies, as long as you are ready. When you are old, we're not talking to teenagers. We're not talking to kids. I said kids are going to school for free. But those who are ready to make children, let them make children. There's nothing wrong with that. When they ask you, how are you going to support these children because you are poor, you must tell them their father Malema will support them when he takes over this government. So it's very important that children are well fed, and children are children, and they don't have to become adults even when they are young, because they have to go work in order to get food. People say, when you are poor, Why do you make children? I was born by a poor mother. But she did not die poor because she gave birth to me. Who said when you are poor and you give birth to a child, that child is going to die poor? What if this child is the one who's going to change this family and make this family a better family? If my mother had followed a silly argument that because you are poor and you are a domestic worker, don't make children, she would have died poor, because there will not be Julius Malema. So stop saying no, because you are poor, don't make children. One of these children might be the one who's going to stop a generational curse in this family. But when we make children with our own bodies, whose problem is that? Why do you concern yourself with our problems? Let me have my own problems, I'll deal with them. My body is none of your business. I decide what I do with my body. I don't understand why a child comes from a poor background. The mother is on SASSA. The father passed away. When he arrives at the university, they say, give us your mother's ID. They take it. They punch the ID. They say, no, fine. Pay 4,500. He says, my mother can afford. He's a beneficiary of SASSA. They say, okay, go back home to do an affidavit. How can government send children home to go and do affidavit? The same government that is giving my mother SASSA says it doesn't know if my mother gets SASSA. Because university is government. The systems must be linked. When you punch my mother's ID, it must say SASSA beneficiary, and automatically I get into the university. And you know what is even more painful? Is that they ask you for a death certificate of your father, after they are the ones who issued a death certificate and said your father is dead. After that they ask you, is he dead? Yes. Go and do affidavit to prove that he's dead. I must go do affidavit to prove that government said my father is dead. How can they say this person is dead and then ask me to come and do an affidavit to confirm? There are no systems. They give you SASSA money in this district of Ikuruleni, and then from there they say, Gogo, come. We want you to come and apply for indigent policy so that we can give you free water or free electricity. I must apply once at SASSA. Once I get approved at SASSA, it must circulate everywhere. When it arrives at municipality, when the bill generates, it must reject me. Or this one is a SASSA beneficiary. Now Ugogo must be going to halls, must be going to town to feel indigent. How come they don't know that you are poor? Because they are the ones who said you are poor. They gave you SASSA and said you are poor. All of a sudden they don't know that you are poor. Come and fill up the forms. Today, God must protect me not to faint here in this hall, because if I faint here and I can't speak, you rush me to the hospital. They will never punch on a computer and get my medical history. As a result, they are going to give me medication that I'm allergic to. Because I fainted, I can't speak. But if the hospital systems, health systems were linked, when I go into a public hospital in Polokwane and I come and faint here, they must just search me and find my ID, put the ID number, Then the information pops up. No, this one you can't give disprin. It is allergic to disprin. That's why they are giving you, a person goes into a clinic, a person goes into a hospital with a problem of teeth and comes back paralyzed. The other side is paralyzed. What happened? What was wrong? Because the problem was teeth. They don't know the medical history of this person. And as a result, they give this person wrong medication. So, only a government of thinkers can come up with these things. Every ward must have a clinic, and that clinic must operate 24 hours. And that clinic must have an ambulance and qualified doctor and nurses. Today, we are told there are unemployed doctors. How can you have an unemployed doctors when there is a demand of doctors everywhere? Only the EFF government will deliver clinics that are going to operate 24 hours. Fighters, how can you close a clinic at 4 o'clock? Who said we are sick until 4 o'clock? Hey, Gula, we are about to close now. Gula, get sick. Get sick quickly, we are closing. That time you are pregnant. We don't know when is the water going to break. You rush to a clinic. You arrive at the clinic by 5 o'clock. As you approach the gate, they close the gate and lock, and they say to you, we've closed. Hey, I'm about to deliver. Please help me. There's nothing I can do. We've closed. As a result, mothers give birth on the gates of clinics because clinics are closed. There is no time to give birth. At any time you can give birth, you must find a clinic open. Whether there are people or not, we will put security guards there to look after those people, to look after our equipment. Fighters, we have load shedding. And today, they say we have 24 days without load shedding. Then they say we must celebrate. How can we celebrate that? Load shedding is not gone. And I'm happy government is not saying load shedding is gone. They say we have suspended load shedding. But people don't ask them, why do you suspend it? They suspended it for a purpose of elections. After elections, load shedding is going to come back. 29 May, stage 6, after voting, when the counting starts, they are going to switch off electricity so that they can steal the votes. So they must find you ready. That's why I'm telling you this. I'm preparing you. I know these crooks. When the counting starts, you must be having a torch. When they switch off, you switch on. Hey, criminal. Because these people can't be trusted. Load shedding is man-made. When we were watching our favorite Rugby World Cup, load shedding didn't come. As if load shedding knows there is rugby. How can electricity know there is rugby? Only a human being knows that there is rugby. Switch on. Immediately after Kolisi raised the cup, stage 6, back to load shedding. That's what they are going to do. We must know that these people are putting us in darkness, and we must not be fooled. On the 29th of May, we must vote against load shedding when we go to the polls on the 29th of May. Water shedding is also coming, by the way. Because these days, here in Ikuruleni, we are starting to experience shortage of water. Why? The infrastructure has collapsed. The infrastructure built by apartheid has collapsed. Ramaphosa goes to Hammanskraal, where cholera killed people. He goes there to say, and this cholera kills people because a water reticulation plant, which its budget was passed and monies were paid to a contractor, is not built. People are drinking dangerous water. Ramaphosa went and pretended to care and moved around Hammanskraal and all of that with a big nose going around and then he left. After he left, the situation in Hammanskraal is worse. How can a president go where there is a problem and the president has got no solution? The president, wherever he goes, he must provide solution. We must all feel that there was a president here. So it can't be correct that Ramaphosa just pretend to care and then more people are dying because of cholera in Hammanskraal. The infrastructure is too old. We need to build new water infrastructure. We need to maintain the one that we have. Otherwise, the taps are going to run dry. They are not telling you that problem, that we are going for water shedding. Because these people found everything else apartheid built. Instead of just maintaining it, they destroyed it and did not build anything in the past 30 years. You know, sometimes I sit down and I'm like, you know, maybe I'm being too harsh on Ramaphosa back and think a bit, what did this man do right? I can't find one. Just one. So we cannot allow a man to buy us with 350 and pretend like we care. He cares about us. He doesn't care about us. He's bribing us. We cannot be bought cheap with 350. We cannot be bought cheap with the ANC t-shirt. We cannot be bought cheap with the food parcels that only comes during elections, and after elections they don't care. Gone are those days when they come to our houses. You must be able to take those food parcels and put them inside the house and lock the door and go outside. No, I've been waiting for you guys. What have you done in the past 30 years? Because we are still in poverty. When you take that food parcel, don't feel bad. It's not an ANC food parcel. It's your money. All of you seated here, you are the ones who bought that food parcel. Because they are buying that food parcel with our taxes. And everyone in this hall pays a tax. Because when you buy, you must look at the receipt. There's something written VAT. It is VAT that buys those food parcels. And therefore, it's your money. Don't feel bad that, no, we took their money, we must vote for them. It's your money. RDP houses, it's your money. It's not ANC money. ANC doesn't have money. It can't even pay its own staff members. That's why they don't have posters. They've got 1 year, 1 day, one. That thing has collapsed. There is nothing left in that ANC. So please, now, we are going to national elections. We are going to elect national president. We are going to elect provincial government. This is not a local government. EFF is for all of us. Colored, Indians, Africans, whites. As long as you are not a racist and you don't want to be a crook, you are more than welcome to join the EFF. There is no EFF that hates white people. There is no EFF that hates colored people. There is no EFF that hates Jesus Christ. Because someone was saying, Malema doesn't love Jesus Christ, is not a Christian. I am a Christian. And all these ones who come to you saying Malema doesn't love Jesus Christ, you must tell them that I've built a church in my home in honor of my mother. There is a house of the Lord standing in my township because of me. Why would I build a church if I don't believe in Jesus Christ? So, in the EFF, you are Christian, Muslims, everyone. This is the home of everybody. There is no white Afrikaner who's going to be driven to the sea. This is their home. They have naturalized, they are with us, but we are going to share the land. There's no one who's going to dominate the ownership of the land and the economy. We are going to share it. They say Malema is a racist. He doesn't want white people. I've never said that. All I said was, let's share. When I say let's share, because they don't want to share, they say it's racist. I say I demand equality. That black and white must be the same and sit on the same dining table. I say, man, sit on the table with a black man. They like, now he wants us to sit with monkeys. We don't want that. Because that's how they look at us. How can you have a problem sharing a table and a meal with a fellow human being? So, anyone who comes here and lie that EFF doesn't love the people of 134, they must know he's going to get answers because you have heard it from the horse's mouth. You must tell this bandit of PA that you are lying. We are going national, we are going province. You voted criminals here at 134. We don't want criminals. People who have gone to prison because they are 26, 28. The people who are working with drug lords were voted during local government. Those criminals must end here. We don't want to see them in parliament. Parliament is not a home of criminals. You must tell them, Hashem, we love you local, but there is serious matters there, and criminals can't deal with serious matters. So there is no PA that owns colored communities. Colored people are independent people. They can think independently. They can make their own decisions independently, and no one must speak on their behalf. And no one should claim to be speaking. So the EFF is here today to say this is a home of the EFF. 134 will vote the EFF on the 29th of May. Victory is certain. Amanda! Amanda! Viva EFF! Viva! Viva EFF! Viva! Thank you very much.